Hello, my friend. Sit back, take a deep breath in, and let it out slowly. This is your time, just a few minutes for yourself. No rush, no noise, just you and a story. I want to tell you a story about a man, a simple man. His name was Leo, and for a long time, Leo felt stuck. Maybe you know that feeling. This is his story, but maybe, in some small way, it is your story too. Chapter 1: The Man Who Forgot How to Fly. Leo was a kite maker. He lived in a small house near a big, open field. Every day he sat at his workbench. He cut the paper. He tied the string. He made beautiful kites. Kites in the shape of birds. Kites in the shape of dragons. Kites that looked like colorful fish swimming in the sky. People in the village would buy his kites. They would take them to the field. The children would run. The kites would dance in the wind. The sky would be full of color and joy. But Leo never flew a kite. Every morning he woke up. He made his tea. He sat at his workbench. He made kites. He ate his lunch. He made more kites. He cleaned his tools. He went to sleep. Then he did it all again the next day. He was good at his work. People said, "Leo, your kites are the best." And Leo would smile a small smile. But inside he felt nothing. He felt heavy. One evening he was walking home from the market. He saw a little girl. She was holding one of his kites. It was a simple blue kite. She was running as fast as her small legs could go. Her father was behind her, laughing. The girl let go of the string for a moment. The kite flew higher. She clapped her hands. "Papa, it's flying." Leo stopped and watched. He saw the joy in her eyes. He saw the smile on the father's face. He looked up at the kite. It was his kite. He had cut the paper for it. He had tied the string. He had made it, but he had never seen it fly. That night, Leo could not sleep. He looked at the kites hanging on his wall. They were beautiful. They were perfect, but they were still. They were not doing what they were made to do. He thought about himself. He was like one of his kites. He was doing his work. He was making things, but he was not flying. He was just hanging there. The next morning he woke up. He made his tea, but he did not sit at his workbench. He picked up a simple kite, a small yellow one. He walked to the big, open field. The wind was soft. He held the kite up. He held the string. He started to run. The kite bounced on the ground behind him. He ran faster. The kite lifted a little, then fell back down. He tried again. The kite lifted a little higher, then dropped. He stood there holding the string. He felt foolish. He was a kite maker, and he could not fly a kite. He almost gave up. He almost went back to his quiet workbench. But then he remembered the little girl. He remembered how she kept running. He remembered how she kept trying. He held the string tighter. He waited for a stronger wind. He felt it on his face. He started to run again. He let the string out a little. The kite caught the wind. It lifted. It went higher and higher. Leo stood still. He looked up. His kite was flying. It was a small, yellow dot in the big, blue sky. And for the first time in many years, Leo smiled. A real smile. A smile that reached his eyes. He felt the string in his hands. It was a small connection between him and the sky. He felt the pull of the wind. He felt alive. He realized something important that day. He had spent so many years making kites, but he had forgotten how to fly one. He had forgotten how to feel the wind. He had forgotten how to play. He was so busy with his work he had forgotten how to live. That was the day Leo decided to change. He decided he would not just make kites. He would learn to fly them too. Chapter 2: The First Small Step. The next day, Leo went to the field again. He took a different kite, a red one. He flew it. It was not perfect. It wobbled. It almost crashed. But he kept trying. He did this every day. He would work on his kites in the morning. Then, in the afternoon, he would go to the field and fly one. At first, people thought it was strange. "Look at Leo," they would whisper. He is a grown man, playing with kites. Leo heard them. It made his face feel hot. It made him want to stop, but then he would feel the wind on his face. He would feel the string in his hands, and he would think, this feels right. This feels good. He learned something important in those first few weeks. He learned that change is uncomfortable. It is easier to stay inside. It is easier to keep doing what you have always done. It is safer, but it is not better. The first step is always the hardest. The first time you try something new, you will feel afraid. You will feel silly. You will want to quit. Leo felt all of those things, but he took the step anyway. He went to the field. He held up the kite. He ran, and slowly, day by day, the fear became smaller. The joy became bigger. He also learned that you do not need to be perfect. He did not fly the kite perfectly the first time, or the second time, or the 10th time, but each time he got a little better. Each time he learned something new. He learned how the wind worked. He learned how much string to let out. He learned how to feel the pull. Progress is slow. You cannot see it from one day to the next. But if you look back after a week or a month, you can see how far you have come. Leo did not become a master kite flyer overnight. He just became a man who went to the field every day, and that was enough. Chapter 3: The Lesson of the Heavy Kite. One afternoon, a young boy came to Leo's shop. His name was Sam. Sam was shy. He looked at the floor when he talked. I want to buy a kite, Sam said very quietly. For yourself? Leo asked. Sam nodded. Which one do you like? Sam looked at all the kites. His eyes stopped at a very big one. It was a beautiful kite, shaped like an eagle. It was the biggest kite Leo made. That one, Sam whispered, pointing. Leo looked at the kite. Then he looked at Sam. Sam was small. The kite was big. That is a strong kite, Leo said gently. It needs a strong wind to fly, and a strong pull on the string. Are you sure? Sam nodded again. I want the biggest one. Leo understood. Sam wanted to feel big. He wanted to feel strong. Leo sold him the kite. The next day, Leo was in the field. He was flying his own small, yellow kite. He saw Sam come to the field with his father. Sam was carrying the big eagle kite. Sam's father helped him get it ready. Sam held the string. His father held the kite up. Run! His father shouted. Sam ran, but the kite was too heavy. The wind was too light. The kite hit the ground. It bounced. Sam tried again, and again. The kite would not fly. Leo watched. He saw Sam's shoulders drop. He saw the disappointment on his face. Sam's father was trying to help, but the kite just would not go up. Finally, Sam sat down on the grass. He put his head down. Leo felt his heart go out to the boy. Leo tied his small yellow kite to a fence. He walked over to Sam. He sat down on the grass next to him. That is a very beautiful kite, Leo said. Sam did not look up. It doesn't work, he mumbled. It is a good kite, Leo said. It is strong. It is made well, but it needs a strong wind. Today, the wind is soft. Sam was quiet. Leo pointed to his own small, yellow kite, flying gently by the fence. See that one? It is small. It is light. The soft wind is perfect for it. It dances in the soft wind. The big kite is too heavy. The soft wind cannot lift it. Sam looked at the small kite. He looked at his big kite on the ground. Sometimes, Leo said softly, we try to carry too much. We try to fly too high, too fast. We want to be big and strong right away, but we are not ready. We need to start small. We need to learn with a small kite before we can fly a big one. Sam listened. Leo continued. It is the same with everything in life. If you want to learn to read, you start with small words. If you want to run fast, you start by walking. If you want to be strong, you start by lifting small things. He looked at Sam. You do not need the biggest kite to fly. You just need the right kite for today's wind. Sam thought about this for a long time. Then he looked at Leo. Can I try your yellow kite? Leo smiled. Of course. They walked to the fence. Leo untied the string and put it gently in Sam's hands. Hold it lightly. Feel the wind. When you are ready, walk with it. Do not run too fast. Just walk. Sam held the string. He felt the pull. He started to walk. The little yellow kite floated behind him, then lifted into the air. It danced. It flew. Sam's face lit up. He flew that small kite for an hour. He laughed. He ran a little. He felt the joy. Before he left, he looked at Leo. I think I will practice with a small kite for a while, he said. Maybe next year, I will be ready for the eagle. Leo nodded. That is a very wise decision. That day, Leo learned a lesson too. He learned that wanting to be big too fast only leads to falling down. Real growth is slow. It is patient. It starts with something small that you can handle. Then, when you are stronger, you can handle something bigger. Chapter 4: The Storm. For many months Leo went to the field. He flew his kites. He got better. He could make them dance. He could make them dive and rise. He felt free. People in the village started to change how they saw him. They saw a man who was happy. They saw a man who was alive. Some of them started coming to the field too. They brought their own kites. They asked Leo for advice. Leo was happy to help. He became a small part of the village life. He was no longer just the man in the shop. He was Leo, the kite flyer. Then, one day, a storm came. It came without warning. The sky turned dark. The wind became angry. It howled and screamed. Leo was in his shop when it started. He looked out the window and saw the trees bending. He saw papers and leaves flying through the air. Then he remembered. He had left a kite in the field. A new one. A beautiful one he had been working on for weeks. It was tied to a stake, but the wind was so strong. He ran out of his shop. He ran to the field. The rain started to hit his face, hard and cold. The wind pushed against him, trying to stop him. He got to the field. He saw his kite. It was pulling hard against the string. It was fighting to be free. It wanted to fly into the storm. Leo grabbed the string. The wind pulled the kite. It pulled Leo. It was so strong. He held on. He did not want to lose the kite he had worked so hard to make. The wind got stronger. It lifted Leo off his feet for a second. He fell to the ground. His hands were cut by the string. He was wet and cold. And then he had a thought. A clear thought in the middle of the storm. Let it go. He looked at the kite. It was fighting so hard. And he was fighting so hard. They were both struggling. They were both in pain. He made a choice. He let go of the string. The kite shot up into the dark sky. It flew higher and higher, twisting and turning in the storm. And then it was gone, lost in the clouds. Leo sat on the wet grass. The rain poured down on him. He felt empty. He felt like he had failed. He had lost something beautiful. He walked home slowly, in the rain. That night he sat in his quiet shop. He was sad. He missed the kite. He thought about all the work he had put into it, all the love, all the time, and now it was gone. But as he sat there, he started to think differently. He thought about the storm. He thought about how hard he had fought. He thought about the moment he let go. He realized something deep. Sometimes holding on hurts more than letting go. Sometimes the things we love are not meant to stay with us forever. Sometimes we have to let them fly away. He did not stop making kites. He did not stop flying them, but he learned to hold them a little more lightly. He learned to enjoy the time he had with them, without trying to keep them forever. He learned that life has storms. You cannot control them. You can only control how you react. You can fight and get hurt, or you can let go and trust that what is meant for you will stay, and what is not meant for you will go. It was a painful lesson, but it made him wiser. It made him softer. It made him more human. Chapter 5: The Boy Who Was Afraid to Try. A few weeks after the storm, Leo was in his shop. A young man came in. He was maybe 17 or 18 years old. He looked nervous. He looked at the kites, but he did not touch them. Leo smiled. "Hello, can I help you find something?" The young man looked at Leo. I want to learn to fly a kite. That is wonderful, Leo said. It is a beautiful thing to do. The young man shook his head. No, you don't understand. I have tried before, many times. I'm no good at it. The kite never flies for me. It just falls. Leo nodded. He understood. What is your name? Marco. Marco, Leo said gently. Tell me, when you try to fly the kite, what do you think about? Marco thought. I think about failing. I think about everyone watching me. I think about the kite falling, like it always does. Leo nodded again. I see. You are thinking about the falling before you even start. He walked to his wall and took down a simple white kite. It had no colors, no decorations. It was the simplest kite he had. Come with me, Leo said. They walked to the field. The sun was warm. A soft, steady wind was blowing. Perfect kite weather. Leo handed the simple white kite to Marco. Hold it. Marco held it. He looked at it. He looked scared. Leo stood behind him. He put his hands on Marco's shoulders. Marco, I want you to close your eyes. Marco closed his eyes. Now, Leo said softly, forget everything. Forget the other times. Forget the people. Forget the falling. Just feel the wind on your face. Feel the sun. Feel the kite in your hands. That is all that exists right now. The kite, the wind. They stood like that for a minute, just feeling. Now, Leo whispered, open your eyes. Do not think about flying the kite. Just walk forward. Let the kite follow you. Let the wind do the work. Marco opened his eyes. He started to walk. The white kite floated behind him. He walked a little faster. The kite lifted. It went up. It was flying. Marco stopped. He looked up. His mouth opened. A smile spread across his face. A huge, surprised smile. It's flying, he whispered. It's really flying. Leo smiled. You are flying it, Marco. Yeah. Marco flew that simple white kite for a long time. He laughed. He talked to Leo while he flew it. He was free. Later, they sat on the grass. Marco looked at the kite, now tied to a stake, gently dancing in the wind. What was different? Marco asked. Why did it work today? Leo thought for a moment. You were not fighting yourself today. Before, you were fighting two things. You were fighting the kite, and you were fighting your own fear. The fear was heavy. It was like a big stone in your pocket. It made you too heavy to fly. He looked at Marco. Today, you put the stone down. You stopped thinking about failing. You just felt the wind. You just trusted yourself. And the kite flew. Marco nodded slowly. He understood. Leo continued. Fear is heavy. Doubt is heavy. When we are afraid to try, we carry all that weight with us. It makes everything harder. But when we let go of the fear, when we just do the thing in front of us, we become light. And when we are light, we can fly. That was a lesson for Marco, and it was a lesson for Leo too. He saw that flying a kite was not just about the wind and the string. It was about what was inside the person holding the string. If your heart was heavy with fear, the kite would feel it. If your heart was light with trust, the kite would feel that too. Chapter 6: The Old Man and the Simple String. Years passed. Leo grew older. His hair became gray. His hands were not as fast as they used to be. But every day, when the weather was good, he went to the field. He did not make as many kites anymore. He sold his shop to a young woman who loved kites as much as he did. But he kept a few for himself. His favorites. One afternoon, an old man came to the field. He was older than Leo. His back was bent. He walked with a stick. He stood at the edge of the field and watched Leo fly his kite. Leo saw him. He brought his kite down and walked over. Hello, Leo said. The old man smiled. His smile was warm. That is a beautiful kite. You fly it very well. Thank you, Leo said. Would you like to try? The old man laughed. A soft, kind laugh. Oh no, my flying days are long over. My hands don't work like they used to. My legs are too weak to run. Leo looked at the old man. He saw the sadness in his eyes, the sadness of a man who had loved something and could no longer do it. Leo looked at his kite, then he had an idea. He went to his bag and took out a small, simple kite, a tiny one. It was so light, it almost floated out of his hand. He brought it to the old man. "This kite is very small," Leo said. "You do not need to run for this one. You do not need strong hands. The smallest breeze will lift it. The lightest touch will guide it." The old man looked at the tiny kite. He looked at Leo. "Just hold the string," Leo said gently. "Just feel it." He put the string in the old man's hand. The old man's hand was shaky, but he held the string. A small breeze came. The tiny kite lifted. It flew low just above their heads. It danced in the air. The old man's eyes widened. He smiled. A big, joyful smile. He stood there, holding the string, watching the tiny kite float. He did not need to run. He did not need strong hands. He just needed to hold on. He flew that tiny kite for a long time. When he finally brought it down, he had tears in his eyes. "Thank you," he said to Leo. His voice was thick with emotion. "I thought I had lost this. I thought I would never feel this again." Leo put a hand on the old man's shoulder. "You never lose the feeling. It is always inside you. You just need to find a new way to reach it." That day, Leo learned one of his greatest lessons. Life changes. Your body changes. Your situation changes. You cannot always do things the way you used to, but you can always find a new way, a smaller way, a simpler way. The joy is not in the big kite. The joy is not in running fast. The joy is in the string, in the connection, in the feeling of something flying because of you. You can always hold the string. You can always find a way to fly. Chapter 7, Passing It On. Leo became a very old man. He could not walk to the field anymore. He sat on a bench near his house and watched the sky. He watched the birds. He watched the clouds, and sometimes he watched kites. People from the village would visit him. Children would come and show him their kites. They would tell him about their flights. Leo would listen and smile. One day, a young woman came to see him. It was the little girl from so many years ago, the one who had been flying the blue kite. She was all grown up now. She had her own little girl with her. The woman sat next to Leo on the bench. Her daughter played in the grass nearby. "Do you remember me?" the woman asked. Leo looked at her. He looked at her eyes, and he remembered. He remembered the little girl running in the field. He remembered her joy. He remembered how she had helped him without even knowing it. "Yes," Leo said softly. "I remember. You were flying a blue kite." The woman smiled. Tears came to her eyes. "You remember." "I remember," Leo said. "That day changed my life. You reminded me what it felt like to fly." They sat in silence for a while, watching the little girl play. Then the woman spoke. "My daughter is scared. She wants to fly a kite, but she is scared it will fall. She is scared she will fail. I don't know what to tell her." Leo looked at the little girl. He saw the fear in her small body. He saw how she looked at the kite in her mother's hand, but would not touch it. He smiled. "Tell her a story," he said. "Tell her about a man who was afraid to fly. Tell her about a man who let his kite go in a storm. Tell her about a boy who learned to fly by putting down his fear. Tell her about an old man who found joy in the smallest kite." The woman listened. Leo continued. "Tell her that falling is part of flying. Every kite falls. Every kite crashes. But the sky is always there. The wind is always there. You just pick it up and try again. That is the only secret." The woman nodded. She called her daughter over. She sat her on her lap, and she began to tell her a story. Leo leaned back on the bench. He looked up at the sky. The sun was warm on his face. He felt a soft breeze, and in his mind he saw a kite, a small, yellow kite, dancing in the wind. He smiled, and he felt at peace. A gentle ending. And so, my friend, we come to the end of this story. Maybe you are like Leo, feeling stuck in your daily life, forgetting to play, forgetting to feel the wind. Maybe you are like Sam, wanting to fly the biggest kite before you are ready, needing to learn that small steps are the way to grow. Maybe you are like Marco, carrying the heavy weight of fear, afraid to try because you are afraid to fail. Or maybe you are like the old man, thinking your best days are behind you, forgetting that joy can be found in the smallest, simplest things. Wherever you are, the lesson is the same. Life is like flying a kite. You need the wind, which you cannot control. You need the string, which you hold in your hand, and you need to trust. Trust the wind, trust the string, trust yourself. You will fall. Everyone falls, but you get back up. You hold the string again, you wait for the wind, and you try. Learning English is like that too. It is slow. You will make mistakes. Your kite will fall. But every day you practice, you are holding the string. Every word you learn, you are letting out a little more line. One day, you will look up and see that you are flying. You will understand. You will speak. You will feel the joy. So, be kind to yourself. Start small. Put down your fear. Take the first step. Go to the field. Hold the string. Feel the wind. You can do this. I believe in you. If this story touched your heart, if it helped you feel a little lighter, a little more hopeful, then I have a small request. Please click the like button. It helps more people find this story. And if you want to hear more stories like this, stories that help you learn and grow, please subscribe to the channel. It is free. It is just a way for us to stay connected. Share this story with someone you love. Share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Share it with someone who is learning English, or someone who feels stuck. You never know how a small story can change a person's day, or their life. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Take a deep breath. Feel the wind, and remember you were made to fly. Until next time, my friend, take care of yourself.